Hi friends, welcome. Today we're going to be working on some hip external rotation and then some straight leg hip flexion. So we're just going to need just a couple blocks today, right? And we'll start standing up. And as always, when we get into our spinal cars, we'll take the feet nice and wide. Right? Imagine that we've got those pylons around us. So we're trying to not knock those pylons over, right? We want to be within that safe little area here. Take your hands, wrap them around the shoulders. Good, give a little squeeze to your butt. And we'll start to flex the spine. So as you concave in everything, starting at the sternum, moving down through the belly button, let the spine pop out behind you. Good. We're going to start to rotate over to the right. So start to squeeze the stuff through the right side as you rotate. Think elbows pointed towards your right foot. And just continue to squeeze the stuff through the right. Think shoulder into your side pocket. Spill the contents out to the floor. And as you extend back, think squeezing all the way up through that thoracic spine. Bring the left shoulder down towards the left pocket. Start to rotate over to the left. Squeezing stuff right through the front. Right? And then we'll change direction, go back the other way. And again, nice and steady and slow. Spill the contents out to the floor from that left shoulder. Right? Start to arch through the spine, squeezing all the way up through the upper part of the spine. Bring the right shoulder down towards that right pocket. And as we rotate back into the center, we'll change and go back the other way. Again, taking our time. Again, just nice and light radiation here. Just think 30, 40%. Like almost like we're at a water aerobics class here. Squeezing stuff through that left, coming into the center. And we'll go back the other way again as you change. This will be the last round through these spinal cars. And as we slowly make our way back to the middle, bring yourself slowly up, right? And we'll grab onto something. It can be maybe a dowel, maybe the wall, maybe a chair, right? Once we start on our hips, we'll start with that left leg. So taking the left hand either to the top of the hip or just the arm out to the side, radiating here. You're going to think that leg trying to sweep through water. Take that left foot up towards the ceiling. Start to lift the knee up nice and high. Open up the hip. We're going to spin the knee away, finding that internal rotation. Again, all while maintaining height here. Good. Taking the leg directly out to the side. Lift the knee up. And again, as you bring it across, think externally rotating strength through the stuff on the inside of the leg. Again, opening up that hip, spinning the knee away. Extending the leg back, feeling that strength through that stuff back there. Again, leg goes directly out, lift the knee up nice and high as we abduct, and again, externally rotate through the leg. Again, opening, spin the knee away, find that strength through the stuff in the back of the leg, take the leg out to the side. Good, when it hits that wall, then we start to abduct, and then we externally rotate. One more here. All right, same thing. Right, trying to find our space the whole way around, right, with control. Last one. Good. We're going to change. We'll go on to the other hip. Again, whatever you need to do with that right hand, lift that right foot up, bring the knee as far up as you can, spin the knee away. Still trying to fight for height. It is going to drop, but just be aware that we're not leaning off to the side. Going to bring the leg back out, open up the hip. And again, bring that leg across, get the knee nice and high, finding that flexion through the hip, spin the knee away, extend the leg back, and bring it out to the side, and then again, across the body. Good. We got 2 more full rounds, just like that. Making sure that as we go through your hip cars, that we're isolating just that area of the hip. Trying to stand as tall and as steady as possible. Again, fighting for height through each rotation. Good, and as you bring it down, same thing. We can hold onto something, and we'll go over to the left knee. Right, when we get into that knee, we'll get the knee up as high as you can. If you need to, you can even support it underneath, right? Or you can let the leg support itself using the stuff on the front of the hip. As you pull the heel in towards the hip, we're going to rotate the shin out. Right, bring the leg forward, so as we start to try to straighten the leg, bring it to not quite straight, still have that little bend in it, continuing to fight for that space out, rotate the shin in, bring the heel in towards the hip, again, fighting for that space on the inside of the leg. And again, so to rotate the shin out, squeeze the stuff here as the heel comes in towards the hip. Bring the leg out as you continue to squeeze that stuff. Now squeeze it on the inside. Try to rotate the shin internally. Take the heel in towards the hip. And again, bringing that back out. Rotate the shin out. Heel back towards the hip. Same thing. Squeezing on that stuff on the outside of the leg. Rotate the shin in. Bending the knee. And again, bring it back out. Rotating. Heel in towards the hip. Good. Again, back out. Rotate the shin in. Heel towards the hip. Again, as it goes out, nice and steady. Rotate. Heel into the hip, and then we'll lower that left leg down, changing, and we'll go to the right leg. Again, as we bend the knee, try to get that leg up nice and high, heel in towards the hip. Again, rotate the shin out. Bring the leg up towards straight, but again, not straight. Rotate the shin in, find the strength on the inside of the leg. Continue to fight for rotation as you bring the heel to the hip, take the leg out. Rotate the shin out, heel comes back in towards the hip, still fighting for that strength there. And rotate, nice and steady on those rotations, right? Making sure that we have a chance to feel and use the stuff through the knee and through the leg. And as it comes out, heel comes back in as we internally rotate. Keep the internal rotation, right? We'll externally rotate the shin, bring the heel in towards the hip. Same thing, out, rotate the shin in. Bend the knee, again, bring it out, rotate the shin out, again, bending the knee, good, again, lower that right leg down, and moving on to the ankles. Okay, not out of balance, find something to still hold on to. Take the left leg out in front, and squeeze the kneecap as it's lifting up into your hip, so we're locking the leg. All right, make sure that none of the movement's coming from the hip, we want all ankles from here. Point your toes like a dancer, and then we'll start to make your rotations nice and steadily moving in one direction. Imagine you got a marker attached to the tip of your big toe and trying to draw the perfect circle on the imaginary whiteboard in front of you. Each time that we go around, right, like always, we're trying to expand that circle. And of course, slowing it down, feeling, finding more space, pushing to the edges, change direction, go the other way. And any areas that you feel that you're whipping through, again, slow it down, and kind of embrace any choppiness that's there. Good, and then we'll bring that left leg down again with the right leg. We'll bring it out in front, squeeze, so again, bring that thigh nice and firm, kneecap pulling up into the hip. As you point your toes, with the rotation just at the ankle, noticing if that right leg tends to wobble from side to side. Again, just getting that control through that as well. Marker is still attached to the tip of the big toe as we draw that perfect circle on the whiteboard in front. We're going to change direction, go the other way. Get nice and steady through, ever expanding circle on that whiteboard. And is the hip moving? Is anything else compensating as that ankle goes around? Last one. Good. We'll bring it down. All right. Focusing on the toes. And we've got three main points of contact: base of the big toe, base of the pinky, and your heel. We want those glued down to the floor the whole time. Right, we're going to grip the floor with the foot, and we'll lift your toes up. Again, same thing, you're going to grip, pull, and then lift. Good, again, gripping the floor with the toes, and then lifting those toes up. Grip, pull, and lift. Good, we're going to bring the toes down. Keep the big toes into the floor, lift your other four off the mat. Lower it down. And again, lift the four toes up, try not to invert the foot, or in other words, the inner arch is trying to pull towards me. We want that arch nice and high, right? As those 4 toes come back down, again, lift the 4 toes up, and lower them back to the earth. Again, 4 toes come up, still keeping that base in the pinky, good, and then bringing them down. 4 toes stay down, big toes are up, and lower them down. Again, same thing, 4 toes down, big toes up. Again, lowering those big toes to the floor. Again, work for height. Thumbs are up because you're cool. And lowering it down. And then last one here, again, lifting those big toes. And lowering those big toes back down. Perfect. And we're going to get right to the floor and end up in a 90-90. We'll start with the right leg forward in this one. Left leg comes out to the side. All right, think knees in line with the hips, ankles in line with the knees. As always, if you need to sit on top of a block, if you feel that you're leaning off to the side, can't quite get into that stuff on the outside of the hip, right? Then we need to bring the floor up to you. Lift the breastbone, think belly button, trying to lift up and over top of that front right shin. Good, we're gonna stay here, all right? And as we stay here, we're gonna do a little bit of a scan. Just kind of bring yourselves to one side, then moving yourself to the other. Finding the greatest line of tension through that outer right hip. And then once you've found it, we're gonna stay into that tension and hold. All right? Now, as we hold that tension here, again, it should be that outer right hip. Spine is lifted, right? So we're not rounding to pull ourselves forward. Or in other words, the tailbone is trying to lift towards the ceiling. Your sitting bones will try to lift and then push back behind you as you gently try to pull yourself forward, right? Your PAILs in this one is going to be that right foot pushing down into the mat and then trying to sweep through the mat, right? So we're building that strength through the outside of that right leg and into that outer right hip. As we go through the rails, right, I want you to try to lift the foot off of the floor as you pull yourself forward. So that closing angle is here on the inside of the hip and through the inside of that right leg, right? Nothing should change the orientation of the body. Everything stays the same the whole way through. All right, so as we camp out here, all right, we'll take an inhale, pack the air down with 20% effort. So push that right foot down into the floor like you're trying to sweep it through the earth. Steadily ramping here to 30. 40%, continuing to build on that intensity. Foot's trying to press down, sweep through the floor. 40. 60, matching the effort throughout. Good, body squeezing tight. So whatever's happening in that right hip happens everywhere else. Safest maximal effort, pushing it down as hard as you can. Again, try to sweep that foot through the earth. 3, 2, 1. You're going to work to lift the foot, pull yourself forward. Think breastbone going towards the wall in front of you. Squeezing that stuff tight on the inside of that right hip. 3, 2, hold it here. Good. Find that bottom of your stretch. Good. Just another couple breaths. Good. Bring ourselves up. Okay, we're going to come down on your right forearm. And so as you come down onto the right forearm, as we're going to hold there, right, to keep the ribs in, try not to let them spill down. Right, take your left hand. Now you're going to grab onto your right shin, or wherever you can get on the leg. If you can't quite grab, always grab a belt or a strap or something, hold it, and then pull the foot up. Right, so once we get there, right, bring it as far up as you can, finding that passive range here. And as we go through that passive range hold, we're going to work to squeeze the stuff on the inside of the right leg. Take an inhale, try to lift the foot off the hand, and then hold. Good, don't let it fall. Keep fighting for that height, keep fighting for that space. 3, 2, good, grab back on, hold on to that strap again, pull it back up, good. Keep everything really tight, take that inhale, brace, and lift the foot off the hand, slowly remove the hand, good, hold it there. Good, again, grabbing that foot, pulling it up, right, taking that inhale, pack down the air, lift the foot off the hand, and then slowly remove the hand. Good, stuff on the inside of that leg is working. Good, keep going, another 4, 3, 2, and we can slowly let that right foot lower down to the floor, right? Now, as we make our transition over to the other leg, we're going to push that right knee down into the floor. You're going to keep the breastbone facing forward. And with that knee lifting up, you're going to try to push that knee back behind you as much as you can. And finding your space here. 3, 2, knee still pushes down. Here we're going to let that knee come up. Ending here in your bear sit as we make the transition nice and steadily over to that left leg. Again, it's knees in line with the hip, ankles in line with the knees, unless you need to bring the knee forward if you feel that pinching on the hip. And again, if you need to sit on your block, place the block underneath your hip and elevate yourself here. So again, as those hands come out to the sides, don't have to go forward, right? We want to make sure that we're maintaining the breastbone lifted up. Pull yourself forward. That rainbow's coming from your belly button, trying to go up and over top of that front left shin. And as we get here, give a little bit of a scan. Try to find that greatest line of tension. Just be aware that the left leg is, or might be, different from the right. So you won't end up in the same position that you were before, maybe. And as we hold it here, once you find that greatest line of tension, right, continuing to find the breastbone lifting up, your sitting bone, the boning point in the front of your, or in the center of your left butt cheek is trying to lift and then pull back behind you. So remember, as we go through our PAILs, right, it's the left foot that's going to push down, sweep through the floor. Okay, so it's that strength through the stuff on the outside of that left hip that we're trying to get into, on that opening side. And the rails, that regressive angular isometric loading, is that left foot trying to lift, squeezing the stuff tight on the inside of that left leg as we work to pull ourselves further into the stretch. So overriding that stretch reflex on the hip to maybe sink a little bit deeper. All right, so taking that inhale, packing it down, start to push the left foot into the floor with 20% effort. And nice and steady, 30%. Again, imagine that foot's trying to sweep through the floor. 40%. That's 60, effort matched to the whole body, squeezing everything tight. So whatever's happening in that leg happens everywhere else. Burn a hole through the floor, that's safest to maximal effort. Keep pushing it down. Push as hard but as safe as you can. Another 4, 3, 2. We're going to try to lift the foot. Pull yourself forward. Keep squeezing. Find a little bit more space. Good. Keep reaching for that space. Strength on that inner leg. 2, 1. Now relax. Hold it there for a moment. Just let yourself pause. Breathe. Good. Did anything change as you went forward? Did we start to round the spine? Did we start to move any parts that didn't need to be moved? Again, just trying to isolate that hip. And just another breath. And come on out. And again, lie down on your left forearm. Again, think elbow more in line with the hip so that we're not coming forward over the leg. Again, if you need a belt or a strap, use a belt or a strap. But if you've got gorilla arms, you can always reach and then grab onto that shin. As the leg comes up, grab it, pull it, keep the ribs in. And again, we're going to think about strengthening the stuff on the inside of that left leg. Take an inhale, pack it down, try to lift the foot off the hand, and then slowly remove the hand, hold. 3, 2, 1, again, as you lift. So you can keep that left leg glued to the floor. Inhale, try to lift the foot off the hand, remove the hand. And 3, 2, 1, grab it, pull it up. Again, taking that inhale here, pack the air down. Slowly remove the hand as the foot tries to lift. Good, keep that strength. Another 3, 2, 1. Good, we'll slowly let that left leg come down to the floor. Perfect. And as we come back up, same transition, you're going to push that left knee down into the floor. Stay facing forward. Right? As you push that right heel down, you're going to start to lift the right knee up. Think about that strength of the outside of the hip. Finding that space here on the inside. Try to press the knee down towards the floor on the other side. Don't let that left knee lift for 3, 2, and then nice and steady. Coming back into your bear sit to make the transition to the other leg. Nice. We're going to grab our blocks. One block. Place that block just to the front of your right foot. And of course, there's always some areas that we can work from. 1, up tall. Hand can be down the side. All right, you can go onto your forearm or even a little bit lower. So again, just grading everything as suit you need. Here, you can be down as low as here to get that leg up and over the block. But as always, we're not trying to show off, so we're not trying to get a lot of height from the foot. We just want clearance over the block. You can even use that left hand to bolt your right knee down if you need to. Again, or even the hand under the rib. It's going to be a lift, and then a hover over the block, and then a lower. All right? Again, we're going to go for about 50 seconds or so. So as you take an inhale here, as we get set up, lift the shin, hover over the block, lower it down. And again, that foot could just be where the block is. Lift, hover, lower, right? Think strength on that stuff on the inside of the leg. Continuing just to get that lift and a hover. Good. And just notice how my heel's just coming over that block. Doesn't need to be anymore. Good, we got one more. Good, heading back where we started, letting it lower down. Perfect. Again, as we start to make our way back to the other side, right, from that 90-90 position, think knee pushing down first, right knee's driving into the floor, lift the left knee up, start to push that knee back behind. Good, hold, think strengthen that outside of the right hip. 4, 3, 2, make your rotation to the center, good, and then we'll make our rotation over to the 90-90 with the left leg forward. Again, you've got those same options as before. Again, just keep in mind, left leg might be a little bit different from the right. Knees still aligned with the hips, hands down, elbow, or you can be resting all the way down onto the floor. Maybe that hand bolts your knee. And again, for about clean, crisp 50 seconds, we're going to lift, hover, and then lower on the other side of the block. All right, taking that inhale, pack it down, we're going to lift the foot, let it hover, and then slowly lower. Again, same thing. Lift, and lower. And again. Good, lift lifting that foot, letting it hover, slowly lowering. Again, just thinking about getting that heel just over the block. And we want to work close to that end range. Think of this as end range strength training. We got just one more here. Awesome. Once it comes down, good. We'll stay back in that 90. And again, taking that left knee, driving it down towards the floor. Think strengthen that outer left hip. Take the right knee, lift it up. Try to keep your body facing forward. Don't try to turn to let that hip open up even further. Okay, just squeeze. All right, staying where you are there. 3, 2, and again, make that transition to your bear. And then again, over to that 90-90. Nice. All right. Hands can be down, hands can be up. Cup them. We're going to try to lift the whole right leg up. Take an inhale. If you need to lean back first. Don't lift then lean. Right? Take that inhale. Lift the right leg. Straighten it. Turn the knee up towards the ceiling, and then lower that right foot down. Same thing. If you need to lean to the side here, lean first. Hands are cupped, and we're going to lift the left leg up. Take the knee into your shoulder. As we abduct the hip, take that left foot to the inside of the right leg. So we're in this figure 4 here. Some of us might need to come on top of a block. Some of us might be fine on the floor. A little bit of a bend in the knee is all right. You can always bend that knee. Same thing as in the 90-90, right? Think about your sitting bones lifting up, pushing back. Lift the breastbone, pull yourself forward. Some of us can even hold onto the leg if you like, but don't think of that as the main goal, as to touch the foot. Think of the main goal as to try to keep that spine lifted and lengthened here. So we have that lordotic curve, or at least trying to get towards that lordotic curve on the lower back. Right? Remember, the main goal here is not to kiss the leg hair, but to find a stretch through the back of that right leg. Some of you might even be feeling it here. And again, a little bend in the knee can go a long way. As always, self-adjust and figure out what works. Right? Foot doesn't have to necessarily be fully flexed. It can be generally relaxed. Right? There doesn't have to be a whole lot of tension and stress. As we flex that foot, then you'll start to feel those, it really pulls on the nerves. Right, as we hang out here, I'll explain our PAILs. PAILs is going to be the right foot pushing down, trying to pull back towards you. Right, so we're finding that strength through the back of your right leg. Rails, you're going to try to lift, pull forward. Right, exact same thing as in that 90-90 setup that we did with the external rotation on the legs, right? Think about creating that strength in your rails here, and maybe a little bit there, keeping everything exactly the same so that nothing changes, right? We want to maintain that orientation of our spine. Take an inhale, pack it down, start to push that right heel into the floor with 20% effort. Think about dragging that heel back towards you. 30%. Good. Continuing to steadily build here. 40. Good. 60. Matching the effort through the whole body. Good. Pulling that heel down as hard as you can. Burn a hole through the earth, right? Safest maximal effort. Pushing as hard as you can. Keep digging. 4. 3. 2, try to lift, pull yourself forward. Close that gap off at the front, at the top of that right leg. 3, 2, and hold. Good. Keep that range. Okay, should be feeling it just through the back of that right leg, and as much as we can, trying to maintain some length in the spine. Remember, the goal is not to come down like that. All right. Just let the smoke clear for another 10 seconds or so, and then we'll go into set number 2. All right, take an inhale, pack the air down. Again, nice and slow, 20% effort, so to dig the heel down into the floor, trying to shorten up that mat as that heel is trying to pull back towards you. 30% effort. 40. Nice, steady, consistent build here. 60, matching the effort throughout. Whole body's involved. That's safest maximal effort, pushing that heel down as hard as you can. 4, 3, 2. You want to try to lift the leg, pull yourself forward, squeeze the stuff right at the top of that hip. 3, 2, 1. Good. Camp out at the bottom. Breathe here. Just taking your time, letting things get settled. Good. Just another breath. And we're going to come out. Lie down on your left side. Cup your hands. 2 options here. One option is to go through the hip cars with a bent knee. Right? If you'd like that little extra challenge and you're proficient with the bent knee hip cars, then we're going to do it with a straight leg. Right? And I'll demonstrate with the straight leg. As you bring the leg forward, and you can follow along with the bend. Good. We're going to start to abduct the hip. Good. Spin the leg back as we work to extend. Again, as you bring the leg forward, abduct, spin it away, extend the hip, and again, bringing the leg up, out. All right, just another rotation or 2. Same thing, same direction. Good. Last one. Once it gets extended, you're going to turn the knee up. We're going to end up back in that same position that we started at, that figure 4. All right, as we go through our passive range hold here, again, just like in the rails, we're working to squeeze the stuff on the inside of that, or excuse me, the top of that right leg. And so as you get down into your stretch, if you're still sitting on the block, I'm going to suggest coming off of the block and then maybe just sitting up tall, right? Or as tall as you can. Right, we're going to get down as far as we can into the stretch. Pull yourself forward, and then from here, you're going to squeeze everything tight, right? Take the inhale, try not to lose the angle at the top of the hip, lean back, and then bring the leg with you. Hold. 3, 2, slowly lower, pull yourself forward. Again, same thing, squeeze the stuff at the top of the hip, try to bring the leg with you, take that inhale, pack it down. Lean back until the leg hovers just off the floor. It doesn't have to go very far. 2, 1, lower it down. Pull yourself forward again. Same thing. Take that inhale, pack it down. Squeeze. Lean as it lifts. Hold. 2, 1, slowly lower. Pull yourself forward. Same thing. Inhale, squeeze. Keep the angle of the hip. Lean as you lift. 3, 2, slowly lower it down. Nice. All right, making our transition off to the other leg. We're going to focus on the right leg. Hands cupped or hands behind if you need that support. And we're going to lift the right leg up. Bend the knee. Take the knee out to the side. Lower it down. Slide the left leg forward. All right, once we get that left leg forward, just like that, and same transition that we did on the last one. If you need to, hands down behind, or you can cut. Remember, lean back first before it lifts. Lift, straighten, rotate, lower the left leg down. Focusing on the right leg. And if you need to lean, lean. Inhale, lift, take the knee in towards your shoulder. Bring that right foot to the inside of your left leg. Same thing, if you need to elevate your hips, sit on a block in order to get into the stuff on the outside of that left leg. Getting a little bend in the knee is never a bad thing. I think pulling yourself forward, that tension should be underneath the leg or underneath the calf for some of us. Right? And as we get into your stuff in the back of your right leg, remembering that anything underneath the knee here is usually ligaments, tendons, and possibly a nerve being stretched, which we don't want to do. We want to get into the tissue, the belly of the muscles. Remember that sitting bone still trying to lift. No need to force our head towards the leg, and all that's there is just hair. There's no magic unicorn if we're one day able to bring our face to the leg, waiting for us there with a pot of gold. All right, so remember the PAILs. It's going to be the left heel pushing down, trying to pull back towards you, as if we're trying to shorten up that mat. Your rails, again, it's the strength of the stuff on the top of the hip here, right? Those hip flexors and stuff right through the front that we're trying to lift as we pull forward, trying to close off that ankle to get deeper into the stretch. All right, as we begin, take an inhale. Pack the air down with 20% effort. Start to push that left heel into the floor. Steadily building here. 30%. 40% effort. 60, matching the effort throughout. Squeezing everything tight. Drive that heel down. Safest maximal effort. Pushing it down as hard as you can. Keep going. Drill it through the earth. 3, 2, try to lift, pull yourself forward. Think strength on the stuff on the top of that hip. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, and hold it here. Good. Keep it steady. Breathe. And if you get any cramp, see if we can hold in that cramp. Right, not coming out just because there's a little bit of that tightness. It might be on the closing angle, or sometimes it just appears or pops up in weird little places. All right, we're going to go into that second set. Again, same thing. As we take the inhale, start to press the left heel down. Trying to pull that left heel back towards you. Think 30%, like a speedometer of a car. It steadily starts to increase. 35, 40 here. 60, matching that effort throughout, squeezing the whole body tight. Again, effort throughout. Whatever's happening in the leg happens everywhere. Safest maximal effort, pushing it down as hard as you can. Go and drill that foot through the floor. 4, 3, 2, again, try to lift, pull forward, close that angle off here. Squeeze the stuff tight at the front of the leg. 2, 1, good, hold it at the bottom. Just Just again, finding calm within these uncomfortable positions, within the stretch. Just another couple seconds. Good. Coming out. And we're going to lie just onto that right side. Right leg can stay the same. Again, same two options. Keeping that left hip on top of the right. It's either knee bent or leg straight through these hip curves, right? Flex the hip. Bring the leg forward. Open it up as we abduct. Spin the knee forward as you extend the leg. Good. Again, bring it forward. Open and rotate. Fight for that extension, see if we can keep that or maintain that left hip on top of the right. Good, just two more. And last one here. Good, set leg comes there, spin the toes up. Bring yourself up. Again, that right foot still on the inside of that left leg. All right, so as we go into those passive range holds, same thing that we did as before. I think pulling yourself forward, down into the stretch. All right, now, see if we can maintain that angle. We're going to take that inhale, squeeze the stuff tight at the top of the hip. As you lean back, bring the leg with you. Hold. 3, 2, slowly lower it down as best you can. Try not to get a full rounding on that spine. Again, inhale, squeeze the stuff tight, lean back, hold. 3, 2, slowly lower it down. Same thing, pull forward. Squeeze that stuff right at the front of the hip. Inhale, good, lean it back. Let the leg just hover off the floor. 2, 1, lower it down. Again, get down as far as you can. Take that inhale, pack it down. Slowly lift. 3, 2, 1. Let that left foot float down to the floor. And bring ourselves up. We're going to take that right foot and think foot lifting first. And hands in front, hands down behind. Lift the right foot. Straighten the leg, turn the knee up, and lower that leg down. And we're going to take that left leg lift. Externally rotate, toes pointing out, bend the knee. And take the foot to the inside of the leg as close as you can. We're going to go through a couple different varieties or variations here of some lifts. And then finishing it off with a hover afterwards. All right, so lifts, just like everything else, just trying to stay closer to that end range. So if you're here and that leg is really lifting up high, then I want you to get down, right? Think about the foot coming a couple of inches at the most off of the floor. Some of you might even have to lean back to be able to lift the leg even that much. Again, take whatever steps that you need to close off the angle so that we can work at that end range of motion. Right? Again, we're going to get down into a stretch first. So I want you to pull yourself forward, get that stretch to the back of the leg. Good. Now, come just out of that stretch until it's gone. Right? Brace yourself here. Take an inhale, squeeze the leg tight, lift the right leg, and then slowly lower it down. Good, try not to round or lean back, nothing changes, just that gap at the front of the hip closing off. Again, take the inhale, lift, slowly lower. Again, 3, lower it down. Good, inhale. 4, slowly lower. Good, inhale. 5, again, parachute it to the floor. Inhale. 6, 7, 8. Slowly down. Perfect. Right? Same thing, same leg, no rest for the wicked. We're going to take it out about 15 degrees or so. Right? Try not to let the pelvis move along with the leg, just opening up that angle here. Again, same thing. We're going to stay facing forward a bit. We're going to go down into a stretch. Right? Now come out of the stretch about 50, or until that stretch is gone. Right? Again, take that inhale, squeeze the leg, lift, slowly lower. That's one. Again, lift, slowly lower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Parachute it down. Nice work. Good. Take your left leg. Again, we're going to lift the foot up first. Straighten the leg. And lower it down. Let's change. Right leg lifts. Externally rotate. Bend the knee. Take the foot to the inside of the leg as much as you can. And then if you need to adjust, once it lands, then we adjust. Same thing, leg going directly forward like we were when we were getting our stretch on earlier. Right, get down into your stretch first. Then come just out of that stretch until it's gone. Right, again, as you use the stuff on this side of the leg to lift it up, we're going to parachute it down to the floor. Again, that count of 8, take the inhale, lift, slowly lower. Again, 2, 3, 4, halfway, 5, 6, 7, 8. Letting it slowly lower. Next, again, same thing. Take that left leg a little bit off to the side, I think maybe 15 degrees or so. All right? Again, pelvis still stays facing forward. Get down into that stretch, feel it through the back of that left leg, and then come just out of it until that stretch is gone. And once we're here, take the inhale, pack it down, lift the leg, slowly lower. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, 8. Letting it lower. Nice. Coming back out. We're going to change. Inhale. Lift the right foot. Straighten the leg. Lower it down. Lift the left leg. Externally rotate. Bend the knee. Now we're going to need that block. That little gap within here. That's where we're going to hover. Leg goes out there. Leg goes here. Block comes just in between. We're going to try to lift the heel over the block to the other side. All right? And again, just like when we were doing those hovers through the external rotation, just like we're doing through all of those lift-offs, doesn't have to go too high. We're just looking to clear just over the block. And of course, with effort, right? So get down nice and deep first. Then come out of that stretch. This one's going to be timed. We're going to go for about 50 seconds. All right? It'll be the lift, hover, lower, lift, hover, lower, down on the other side. You're going to adjust that block as you see fit. If it's too much, even with a block, grab a pencil. Have something really thin on the floor. All right? Time starts in 3, 2, squeeze, lift, hover, slowly lower. Good. Let it hover, nice and steady. Try not to whip it through one area or the other. Remember, it's 50 seconds, so if you need any breaks along the way, take your breaks. If you can continue to keep that hover, just keep going. Good. Always think about parachuting that foot down to the floor. Last one. And that's 50 there. Whew. Nice. All right, changing. Same. Lift that left foot. Straighten it. Lower it down. Lift the right leg. Externally rotate, take the foot all the way in as far as you can. And then adjust as you need. Block goes to the outside of that left heel. Again, go down into your stretch. Good. Lean back till that stretch is gone. Right? Again, same thing. Hovering nice and steadily over. Thinking about just getting over that block. Taking that inhale here. Lift, hover, and lower. That's it. Try not to speed up, especially as you get over the block, or speed up when you lift off the floor. Just think steady, consistent cadence. Good. We got 20 more seconds. Again, take breaks when you need. Good. This should be last one. Good. Letting it lower. Nice. And you can place the block off to the side. And maybe a little bit of shifting through those legs. And we'll bring the legs out a little bit. If you need to sit on a block here, if you find that you're falling down, or falling back, I should say, rolling back, then elevate the hips and bend the knees while you're on there. All right, we're gonna keep those hips glued. Bring the arms across as we go through our spinal cars. Round, pull everything in. And we're gonna rotate over to the right. Spill the contents of the shoulder down to the floor. We're going to extend the spine, coming over to the left. Rotating, squeezing that stuff through the left side, squeezing it into the middle, and then back the other way. Okay, we're going to go for 2 more, there and back. And don't think anything intense, right? Think of this as a little bit of a cool down. Good, last one. And bring it down slowly. Coming up, we're going to end up on our backs, but I do want us to think about it with the legs apart, pulling the belly in, and then slowly letting everything go down to the floor, one little bit at a time. Lower back if you need to, hold onto the back legs, and then that spine slowly starts to push down. And we're going to take the left leg, think knee just over the hip. We'll get some internal and external rotation here. We're bringing that external rotation, foot towards your right shoulder, and then as you internally rotate, think foot pushing out towards the outer edge of the mat. And again, bring that foot towards the right shoulder, externally rotate. Again, it doesn't have to be anything intense. I just think about creating or saving a little bit of work here. Okay, same thing. Rotate and rotate. And a couple more. And stuff on the outside of the hip works there. Stuff on the inside of the hips. Good. We'll bring it back into the center. Straighten the leg. And if it falls down a little bit, let it fall. Same thing. We're going to externally rotate. Think knee pointing out. And then as you internally rotate, think knee pointing towards the opposite shoulder or beyond. And externally rotate. And then internally rotate. That's it. Just a few more. Try to keep that leg straight. Movement coming just from there. Last one. We'll keep the leg up. Bend the knee, take the heel all the way into the hip. Rotate the shin out. Bring the leg towards straight, but not straight. Rotate the shin in. As we go through our knee cars, heel comes in towards the hip. And bring it up. Think strengthen the stuff on the outside of the leg. Heel in towards the hip. Good. Lifting it rotate the shin in, heel in towards the hip. And just a couple more. And last round here. And rotating it out, heel in towards the hip as you still work for space. And then we'll lower that left leg down. Bring the left leg be straight. We'll bend the right knee. Think knee just over top of that hip, like there's a little stake going through it, and then through the floor. Your external rotation is the right foot towards your left shoulder, stuff on the inside of the leg working. And then the internal rotation is foot moving out, stuff on the outside of that hip working, making sure we're not hiking it up. And then going back. Again, just nice and steady each way. And we'll go for one more round. As you finish up with that internal rotation, bring it back to neutral, straighten the leg. That external rotation is knee trying to point out. Internal rotation is knee trying to point to the opposite shoulder. And externally rotate, good, knee points out. And as you internally rotate, knee points in. And a couple more. Feeling the difference between straight and left leg, or straight and bent leg. And last one. You're keeping the leg where it is, bend the knee, then we'll rotate the shin out, bring the leg up towards straight, but not straight. Rotate the shin in, heel in towards the hip. And again, lift, rotate the shin out, heel towards the hip. And continuing. And just another 2 rounds. And again, as you externally rotate, strengthen the stuff on the outside of that leg. Keep that external rotation. Bring the leg up towards straight. Strengthen the stuff on the inside of the leg. Heel towards the hip. Bringing it up. Again, as you externally rotate, bring the heel back in towards the hip. You can relax the leg. All right. And hopefully your legs are feeling quite as fresh as mine. As always, thank you so much for joining. And wherever you are, hope you enjoy the rest of your day.